Hey, I was sitting, had my face mask on, and I keep seeing this one little, I guess it's a meme, and it's a caterpillar and a butterfly having a drink. And the caterpillar tells the butterfly, "You've changed." And the butterfly's like, "Yeah, we're supposed to." This is just your reminder. You're supposed to change. The seed doesn't remain the seed. Like, that's the surprise. What's it going to be? If you don't have a clue what the seed is, then you wait and then you're like, oh, wow, it's a blah, blah, blah. It's something magical. It's also like an egg. If you find an egg and you don't see any animals around, you're like, what's it going to be? You know? So just remember, it's okay to change. People are going to hold you back because they're not comfortable with change. But as I've stated several times, the only constant in this world is change. Get used to it. Accept it. Every time you go around this sun, each time you have a birthday, you've made it around the sun yet another time. You're leveling up. But a lot of people don't level up. Quit going on the same path. Allow yourself to do the stairs. Allow yourself to see those obstacles and go, that looks challenging. Because at some point, we stopped liking challenges. I don't know why. That's something in our mindset that it was safe to keep doing the same thing. But even Albert Einstein warns you, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is insanity. Ask yourself who you are. What is it you're doing? If you're living each year the same way and expecting to start that business, buy that new car, invest in that home, finding freedom, feeling powerful, feeling seen and heard, you're not going to get there by doing the same damn thing. And it's hard because a lot of times you'll take that walk alone. Other people aren't interested in getting up early and working out, or eating healthy, not going to the bar every weekend. My daughter and I went on a dinner date tonight. She was my birthday date. I had plans that I had to cancel because of the rain, and I was like, I'm not driving so far away that I have a hard time driving back in the evening. Plus, I need to spend time with my daughter. And I think we forget to date our children, to show them that we love them, that we care. I remember there was a time, it's when my son was young, his birthday party always had alcohol at it. All the birthdays had alcohol at it. And we forgot in those moments that that was for the kids. But a lot of us make excuses and go, well, I do stuff for them all week long. I do stuff for them all year long. I want to party any chance I can get. And we just keep lowering our vibration more and more and more. It makes it to where you can't think. It makes it to where you can't plan for the future. Honestly, you can't even save, because when you when you go out and you party and you're always doing it at home, you're spending so much money. And there's a lot of people that are always like, I'm so strapped for cash. Well, how many times did you go out? How many times did you overindulge? How many times did you buy something you didn't need? There's a difference when you're working your ass off and you're having to do it alone and you can barely scrape by, compared to when you have a joint household and you just live above your means. I know there's a lot of single parents out there. I know there's a lot of people that are in the same shoes that I'm in that don't get that financial support from their children's father or mother. There was someone in my family that didn't pay their share towards raising their child that didn't live with them. I didn't think it was fair, but who am I to judge the situation? When we have our children, it's on us to help them understand how to live correctly, how to provide for their future, how to handle their money wisely, how to invest correctly. And I know that's hard for a lot of people because we don't all have that information ourselves, because we don't do it for ourselves. A lot of us feel in lack. So when we live in lack, that's the only thing we can give back. Sorry, it rhymed in my head. But the best thing to do, Mother Teresa says, if you want to see more love in the world, go home and love on your family, love on your children. You are going to see a huge change when you go, you know what? I'm going to invest in my household. I remember one time, it was Halloween a few years ago, the kids and I ran inside Walmart for a second. It wasn't even 10 minutes. The dog was outside, windows were cracked, everything's fine, and I walk out to this woman pacing, and her daughter, oh my God, I can't, it wasn't even hot outside. And I'm like, mind your business, Karen. Sorry if your name's Karen, that's just, the going name these years. But she kept telling me, how dare you do that to that dog? And I said, that dog's stronger than you are. That dog's been in the mountains. That dog's been at the beach. That dog's been in the desert. She's lived in freaking Mexico. She's been around other dogs that don't even speak her language. My point in that is, though, mind your business. Mind your business. Because when you mind your business, you watch your pentacles grow. That green, them dead men that do all the talking, money. You watch your life become more abundant. Because when you're so focused on everybody else, guess what? You start jonesing. You start trying to compete with them and one up one another, and, oh, I gotta have what Billy Bob has, or I gotta have what Felicia has, and it just becomes something that you will bleed yourself dry. You'll work overtime just to go on that vacation you can't afford. I knew a friend that used to take out a loan to go on vacation to pay it out over the year, and by the time it came vacation time again, they were getting another loan. I was taught if you can't afford it, you go without. You save up for it till you can have it. That was a good mindset. I think we've all forgotten that. We have forgotten what it means to accept what you are being offered. Don't complain. Don't compare yourself to someone else. Sit down for a while and relax. That's hard to do. I know. I'm very guilty of that. I've always been the pacer. The person that just, oh, we're watching a movie and I got to get up 15 times. I can't sit and focus on it. These days, I've gotten to where I just kind of fall asleep. I am working a lot and trying to work on things outside of working, plus trying to ensure my daughter that I'm here. It's not easy. It's not easy being the person that has to be there for everybody. And a lot of times we forget about ourselves in that process. When you forget about yourself, that's when you start kind of dying off. You start dying inside. And I talked about this in another video where it was like that spirit was like, ah, wake up or I'm leaving. And it doesn't separate from your body. It just goes to sleep. You don't want to find yourself sleeping in a world that is under a hypnotic spell. It reminds me of Sleeping Beauty, where the evil queen put a spell over the whole kingdom. And it just was meant to stop something from happening. But the whole thing is, just because the world is sleeping doesn't mean that time has stood still. It doesn't mean that what is destined is going to stop. The only thing that's occurring right now is there has to be this huge energetic battle that is invisible and most people don't even realize they're a part of. When you're sleeping on a spiritual level, you become a pawn in a demonic game. I don't know if that's news to you. When you're awoke in a world that is sleeping, you become a warrior for a higher power. There's always that battle between good and evil. The angel and the devil, right? You got to start asking yourself, what side are you on? How have you educated yourself? Where do you invest your time? What are you doing each day that you could change something to change your life? I got really depressed when my son was leaving, and I got to where I wasn't working out anymore. I was drinking all the time. I made a joke and said I cried a new lake. They named it Sheena. It's full of my tears. I was like, I'm so dehydrated. Of course, between the drinking and the crying. Not eating, I was like, liquid calories. I didn't care. And it's funny, as soon as he graduated boot camp, it's like he was always my workout buddy. We had push-up competitions. Every day it was something to keep each other going. He had me walking at one point. Come on, because he was trying to prepare for boot camp. He was trying to get physically fit and do what he needed. So he inspired me to keep going. And I'm telling you, the day that he graduated, it took me 2 days to go, it's time to get your ass back in gear. We're not doing this. Because as you get older, you get stiffer. The stiffer you get, I hear a lot of people complaining my body hurts. Exercise, oh, it hurts. It's gonna hurt. The more you sit, you become solid. It's like leaving meat on the counter. You sprinkle some salt on it, guess what? It's gonna cure over time. You have something that was, this is probably gonna go a little extreme, but it was living at one point. It was frolicking around. It was living its own life. And then someone came along and said, ooh, I want to eat that. And then they started going through a process. What was once vibrant and had life pulsing through it is now hard and what we consider edible. Still got to remember, you are what you eat. I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. Just trying to have an analogy that when you're moving, you're raising your vibration. You're allowing things to pump in your body. You're keeping pathways clear. This is a machine. People take better care of their freaking cars than they do their own bodies. You can't buy a new one. You could swap out your car for a new generation. People take better care of their cell phones than they do their own mind. They're both computers. We process information on a regular basis. Some information we can't even comprehend, and it just keeps coming so fast. That's the thing of technology. It will over-inform you. Same as a library. It used to be you had to go to a library and find that book, and it was a scavenger hunt. What am I going to learn today? Now you just get on your phone and you're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Life has become so dull because we invest our time and our money and our effort. And I can't tell you if it's right or wrong for you, but I know where I stand for me. So if anything, let me ask you, I will challenge you to start doing something that will change your life. Every morning I invest 15 minutes, just 15 minutes of working out and stretching. That's it. It's called maintenance, preventative maintenance. If you start doing it now, you don't have to do it later. And people used to look at me and be like, you don't work out. That's not a workout. And I'm like, but yet I have a six-pack and you have a pot belly and you're telling me I don't work out. Makes no sense. I am whatever you say I am, and I'm doing whatever you say I'm doing. Yep. Don't listen to the naysayers. Find the doers. And if you'll start investing in yourself, all of a sudden you're going to see things are blossoming around you. New opportunities arrive that you didn't ever consider you would have. New money starts to flow into you. People smile at you again. I see so many people at my job and I'm like, damn, they're just so miserable in life. You can just see death in their eyes. Just waiting to expire, thinking they're going somewhere better than where they're at. What's better than getting to feel and move and do and imagine and be creative? Pick and choose your poison. This world is full of so many abundant things. And the funny thing is, most people never even really leave the area in which they were born. Do you know how exotic the world is? Do you know how fascinating other cultures are? And there's that fear mongering that makes you go, oh no, I can't go there. That's scary. Shoot, If you know anything about where I'm from, not even a 45-minute drive up the road. Used to be 4 million people. I'm assuming a lot more, but the crime rate is insane. It's everywhere. There are heartless, wicked, evil people everywhere. Don't let that be the thing that debilitates you and gives you fear and makes you go, no, I'm going to just stay here. Because oddly, people will get on a cruise ship that could be quarantined with the virus and possibility of death. But you fear going on a plane to another country to go explore another culture and get respect for other people. If we could actually begin to open our hearts and our minds, we would stop with the barrier bullshit. Oh no, this is my country. You can't come here, but I stole it from another group of individuals and I mass genocided the whole population and called it mine. More of that education, folks. I know this is probably not what anybody wants to hear, but it kind of comes out. Like my last video was, no more sugarcoating shit. I'm tired of the oblivion is bliss. There's nothing blissful about being ignorant. There is nothing awesome about acting like you didn't know. Oops, my bad. I didn't know that was going to do that. Yeah, you did. We've seen so many things in history repeat itself. That's what we tend to say. History repeats itself. Yes, because we're doing the same damn thing. Generation after generation after generation. At this point, we've just amped it up. We've put it all on a technological scale and said, look, here's how to make a bomb. Oh, that's called depression. That's what you have. Oh, yeah, just educating people in all the negative mindset. Where's the good stuff? I quit watching the news at one point because a horror show was less scary than what I was seeing in the world. I was fine living in nature because at least the animals are going to warn you. They're going to growl, stomp their foot. They're going to let you know they don't care for you being in there. They don't want you there. Humans, not so much. The smile in your face. It's a competitive world. So start with that preventative maintenance. Cleanse your mind. Open your heart. Change your world. Change the future. Because we are the rebels. People like me that don't sugarcoat shit and make people uncomfortable, we're the freedom fighters. We're the ones that are trying to take a dystopia and turn it into a utopia. Because our children deserve a better future. You can't change the past, but you can work on the present to ensure that there is a better and brighter tomorrow. But that's up to us. And that goes back to having a unity, a brotherhood. No longer fearing one another, no longer listening to the news that leads us astray, no longer listening to the gossip and the jealous and wicked people that want to make us go, oh, I shouldn't talk to them because, oh my God, what are they going to say about me? Who gives a shit if someone's judging you? Hey, that just means people are watching you. People don't pay attention to people they don't like. If you're going to be watched, at least be an inspiration, right? Show the world it's not so hard. Because in all honesty, once you get on the good foot, it's not so hard. You'll start attracting more people that help build you up rather than ones that want to crush you. Because it sucks. I've lived in both sides of the world. Spectrums. I'm not talking about hemispheres. I've dealt with backstabbers, liars, and thieves, which taught me I will not tolerate backstabbers, liars, and thieves. And then I've resided with those that are more loving, open, caring, compassionate, empathetic. They showed me a way that I wanted to be. I always had it within me. But when you hang out with the wrong crowd, they can manipulate you into doing certain things that makes your soul go, ugh, I don't even like me. Can we not? Especially when you're young. You're afraid to be alone. I remember I used to wait for my friends to call me for the weekend because I was like, all I have is this weekend and I have to go to church on Sunday. So really all I have is Friday night and Saturday. And I was so worried about missing out. And then being in the situation I'm in now, looking back, I didn't miss anything. Most of the time I should have. I would have made better life choices. I look at my son and I tell him, you're really smart. At your age, I was doing drugs. At your age, I had gotten pregnant. And somehow I can say it now, by the grace of God, it didn't go through. Because the person I was with, I would have been a single mom way early in life and destroyed my life. It was heartbreaking at that time. Anytime you lose something, it's heartbreaking. But when you get older and wiser and more mature, you can look back on the situation and go, wow, that was a saving grace. Like I said, I look at him and I think of all the things he's doing. He's already investing wisely in his mind. Future income. How is he going to turn it into something that regenerates itself? We all need that mindset. We all need to look at the concept that we all have the ability to build generational wealth. That's something that you can pass on to your children that keeps accruing and growing and they can invest in. Rather it be a business or 401ks or something monetary. It can be an idea, a concept, a way of life. Something that gives them better health, a wiser mind, a purer spirit. But that's on us as the now leaders to go, this is what we're going to do. It doesn't mean that they're going to step in and fill your shoes. But at least they understand, okay, if I work hard and I use my brain wisely and I invest correctly, I can change my world. And it's funny because that all starts right here. Preventative maintenance. Raising your vibration. Pushing aside the things that are here to entertain you and distract you. If you start assessing your relationships, you'll start seeing how many people are in your life just as a sheer distraction. If you can pluck the distractions and push them to the side, guess what? All of a sudden you've outgrown them. And now the caterpillar and the butterfly are having the conversation. You've changed. Yeah, I did. You didn't? Of course, then they judge you. Let them judge. It all starts with you. Just wondering what you'll do with it. If I offended you, sorry you're so easily offended. If I helped you, awesome. Peace, love, and light. Adios.